I've never met a single person who understood Bitcoin that didn't support it. That's it. That's the post. I've never met a single person that understands Bitcoin. I never met someone who understands and hates it. But I have met people who understand it and yet are still skeptical. For the most part, it's because they don't think the fiat system is that bad. They are all people who have done very well for themselves financially. Unsurprising then that they don't think the current system needs fixing. I don't know if I've ever met a Bitcoiner. I know some who have bought $500 worth and sold for $700, but that's about it. Though I don't really talk about Bitcoin in public, so I would only hear if someone else brought it up first. I support the technology, I hate the perpetual grift in the scene too. Not once have I met a person who actively talks about crypto that I personally want to hang around with. I understand it and don't support it yet because I understand most people don't understand it. People like Buffett, Gates etc. don't support Bitcoin because they understand. A lot of people think that only those who support it understand it. Congrats, you are trending on Bitcoin. Hating Bitcoin is hating math and public management. It's that simple. Makes no sense to hate it, unless you don't understand. Agree. I think people understand, but it's the lack of understanding by others that makes people not want to support it. For example, let's say BTC price stagnates for the next 10 years then blows the fuck up after that. Those 10 years could have been crucial for travel, life expenses, home, etc. I think it's the timing of Bitcoin. It's inevitable, but under what time frame? Immutability. End of the story. Thanks for this daily dose of confirmation bias. I've never met a girl that knew every Taylor Swift song who didn't love Taylor Swift. Once you really know how Bitcoin works, you never go back. The problem is that most people don't want to learn. They think Bitcoin is a scam because they read a bullshit article on mainstream media and they refuse to do any further research. Tell them the actual scam is fiat money, and they'll look at you as if you were an alien. I've been in Bitcoin for over 10 years, and have never met, or even heard of, a person who actually invested in it who regretted it. As far as I can tell, the CSI of Bitcoin is 100. I understand it and I don't care, man shrugging. Compium. It solves zero problems in scale, or it would have already done so, and it's a grifter's paradise to sucker money from you to them. It's often easy to see in posts critical of BTC that they don't understand it. I never knew anything about Bitcoin until 5 years ago when my best friend from childhood told me all about it and convinced me to buy and get involved in Bitcoin. And I will always be eternally grateful. The problem is people not understanding it, aka not understanding what money is. Learning, reading and researching takes more effort than mindless scrolling, which is what I feel like most people do with their spare time nowadays. I understand it. I think proof of work is bad for the environment. I understand it, but I don't support it. We can meet if you want. I understand and support it. But it's not the best. I have. They said it was unfair that the early adopters captured so much of the benefits. I suppose they are right to some extent, but I believe price will indefinitely increase even if adoption stops, since fiat printing won't stop anytime soon, since it would imply banks and the government becoming responsible financially. The clowns at Bitcoin have pinned this post. Funny how some people will always remain broke, can't help stupid. You just did then. Unless you move to some third world country, you will never be spending your crypto unless you change it for fiat. Store of wealth is nothing but a black box of money you can't spend without fiat. Once you see the process of how the engine works, you know it's not something to be overlooked. It's a wonderful system. Merkle trees, mempool, signatures, etc. I mean, he really took his time making this machine. If he's the Satoshi I think he is, it must have taken years to do all the fine-tuning. Bitcoin. I understand it. Believe in it. I just don't know the cheaper solutions for transfer. I know Lightning Network, don't understand how to use it without screwing it up. I understand wallets but don't know how to safely transfer, afraid to use hardware wallets because of security, afraid of software wallets because of computer crashes, afraid of exchange insolvency. Conclusion: I love BTC but don't own it and probably never will. What about, to play devil's advocate, Taleb? Surely he understands, or understood? Honestly, I know some. Their problem is that Bitcoin Power Blockchains is a giant power-intensive database. If you don't support it, do you really understand it? Everyone buys Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Once you understand Bitcoin, you should also understand mass adoption is impossible. I mean shit, how many years it been now? It's a great speculation tool, but nothing more. Good fucking point. That makes two of us. It's odd that it doesn't get more support based on that fact. There is a thing that might be great, I know nothing about it so I'll ask an expert. Every expert says it's great. Must be a conspiracy. That's climate change for you. I understand it, own some, but it has a lot of problems that make me want to sell it all. Example: scaling. The Lightning Network is terrible. My 88-year-old grandpa understands it, and he owns some. Though he has been in the forefront of technology his whole life. Won a bunch of kart races back in the day, bunch of trophies, and was also involved with jet warfare as part of the Air Force. He told me, "Take care of your grandma for me, boy. If you got any left over after that, help the family with what they need." Love my grandpa, they don't make 'em like that anymore. I understand it, including the fact that it's basically just money laundering and 90 bullshit. Any good and short video sources available to help people understanding Bitcoin? Stuff I shared up to now did not help that well, whether they did not get it or it was too long, for example more than 10 minutes, and the majority just did not want to spend a few more minutes on it. Knowledge is power. Meet Nassim Taleb. That's why it's so difficult for us Bitcoiners to find people that have good arguments against it. I think the biggest misunderstanding is why Bitcoin isn't just another shitcoin. Oftentimes young people will see the value of crypto and be like, man, I think they might make a better Bitcoin if they haven't already. Then you start telling them about proof of work and the way it began and they're like, yeah, I guess it has the network effect, but I don't understand proof of work, decentralization, and scarcity, so I'm gonna wait for Bitcoin 2.0 to be made. I don't understand it, I'm just along for the ride. I agree that it seems the more someone understands BTC the more likely they are to support it. But there are people with a deep understanding who are critics. If interested, you can look to the block size wars to find them. I know lots of people who really understand it and stay away from it, and their point is absolutely valid. Bitcoin's success largely depends on people trusting it won't disappear overnight. Every day that passes is a point forward, but it can still happen. It's only 14 years and it's worth nearly $1 trillion. This is as remarkable as it is terrifying, and most of the big financial govfish do not like it. You still need a lot of faith. I think it's possible to work in American government and not support Bitcoin despite understanding it. Powerful world governments are one set of few entities actually disempowered by Bitcoin. There are some downsides, but nonetheless I'm over-leveraged 'cause I'm a believer. I have seen 3 people who were not supportive who understood it well, out of thousands. You are right, 99.99 of those who don't like it don't fully understand it. Gensler. But yeah, you're correct for the most part. Gensler gave a college course about Bitcoin. Laser rise is an emotion, not enlightenment. You could score 100 in the crypto test, but still be 100 into stocks. When BTC is back to $65,000, it is going to be thanks to glass hands pumping it up, ready to jump off the wagon when the going gets tough. No, but I've never met someone that understands Bitcoin but know a lot that support it lol.